So in the month of August 2024, I decided to finally pick up Harry Potter. I don't normally read series. I usually read novels because as a student who has to balance both academics and just the pleasure of reading, I like to pick up novels that are quick and easy to read, whereas I find series I have to invest a lot of time. There's a lot of world building, but I've always been intrigued in the whole concept of Harry Potter, and I've never watched the movies, so I do want to see what they're about. So here are just my thoughts on the first two books. This is also going to be split into two videos because I did not realize that I had a lot to say for the first book. Alright, so the first book we're going to talk about is the first book in the Harry Potter series. My apologies. Yeah, so let's just get started. Right, I tabbed it, and I will not explain you my tabbing process because I am actually new to annotating. I like keeping my books in pristine condition, but because I find that I forget a lot of what I read in books, like my memory seems to wipe out, I've decided that I'm going to annotate at least some books. At least I can remember when I want to record videos like this. So let's just like flip through one of the tabs that I think resonated with me. So the first tab that I put on was when Harry was trying to get the, I know I'm gonna butcher this, remembrall. So he was trying to get that from Malfoy, who stole it. You know, even though Harry has no idea how to ride a broom, I mean, he's new to this wizard world himself. It demonstrates Harry's courage and his willingness to do what is right despite putting himself at risk. So he has no knowledge that he can ride a broom. He doesn't know how to control it. And we just witnessed Neville breaking his wrist. That should already indicate to Harry that this is a dangerous idea. But he is so willing to get the remembrall for Neville. Also, he probably knows in the back of his mind that he's probably going to get caught, but he doesn't care if he gets in trouble. It seems like he sticks to his morals, that you should not steal someone else's possessions. Yeah, I really like the scene overall. This is a random quote, but like I really like the way that J.K. Rowling, or Rowling, however you say her last name, I really like this quote here. Perhaps he could be Hagrid's assistant. His stomach twisted as he imagined it, watching Ron and the others becoming wizards while he stumped around the grounds carrying Hagrid's bag. He has this catastrophic way of thinking, like just it's the end of the world and he's jumping straight to conclusions. We often magnify a particular situation even though we don't even know really the circumstances. We just assume that it's going to be catastrophic and it's going to be dreadful. I feel like as a teen, I don't know if you resonate with this, but as a teen, when I was a teen, I would often jump to conclusions about like how this one action, like one action could make or break my entire life. Like this one occurrence could ruin my future. It's really like the thought process behind Harrier because he's a very believable character, and I feel like I am reading from the perspective of like a little kid. Okay, so let's move on to the other one. Oh, okay, so I think the reason I tapped this was because I said I really liked Hermione's response here, even though people, like especially Ron, is annoyed by Hermione. I like her personality and I like her character. You need that goody-two-shoes. You need to be someone who like sticks to the rules just to balance out like the other characters who are sometimes spontaneous and just act without thinking. So with Hermione, was confronting Ron and Harry for sneaking out during the night because I think they were going to meet up with Malfoy to do like a battle. So Hermione was like, don't you care about Gryffindor? Do you only care about yourselves? I don't want Slytherin to win the House Cup and you'll lose all the points I got from Professor McGonagall for knowing about switching spells. Hermione cares about abiding by the rules at Hogwarts, and like she reflects on the circumstances of her actions, what could be the potential consequences. Taking this very seriously, is especially coming from someone who is who's like Muggle born, right? Like her parents, both of them are not wizards. Yeah. And then I can't forget about this quote because this is one of my favorite quotes by Hermione, which is like, I hope you're pleased with yourselves. We could all have been killed or worse, expelled. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to bed. I love that about Hermione because she's got her priorities straight, you know? It reveals how Hermione's priorities are just unrealistic. But I feel like because I was a student that really cared about studying all the time, I didn't have like a life outside of school. Like I wasn't smart, I just studied hard. I had friends who would comment like, if there was an earthquake, Aspen would still be studying or taking her test. Like she doesn't care about the fact that being killed, but rather expelled. Oh, and a little like, I just really like this little quote that Harry says here. When Malfoy realizes that Harry is actually not in trouble for trying to grab the Remembrall from Malfoy. And I just really love his response. And it's really thanks to Malfoy here that I've got it. Like, I can see that he doesn't like Malfoy, but at least he responds in a way that's like, it's almost like killing it with kindness. Yeah, I really love this quote here. Okay, this was the scene where I think there was a big like troll lurking in the hallways, and Hermione like ran off crying, and they were trying to, I don't know, they were trying to find her, but well, it's actually Harry who suggested that we have to find Hermione because like all the students are told to go to a certain place, like not be within the like trolls area. What I like about Harry's response here is that like, because we know throughout this book that Ron is not very pleased with Hermione yet, at least in the first half of the book. Even though Ron, like his friend, doesn't like Hermione, Harry still worries about Hermione, and even though he's not close to her, like he's concerned for her safety. He's not selfish at all, at least in this scene here. The other quote that I really liked was this one here. It says, Harry then did something that was very brave and very stupid. He took a great running jump and managed to fasten his arms around the troll's neck from behind. So in this scene, we have the troll that was in the bathroom where they like they closed the door and locked the troll in the bathroom where Hermione was. Harry doesn't think about his actions. I mean, he just acts accordingly, and that's very similar to the previous quote that I was showing you about when he was using the broom, like the Quidditch, like for the Quidditch game. So he just acts, and I think that's really a reflection of like why he fits into Gryffindor. And what I really liked about Hermione, so even though Hermione is like, she abides by the rules and she really cares about doing well at school and never getting in trouble, she's just a good student. But I was kind of shocked when Hermione lied for them, when she lied in this scene after McGonagall, I'm gonna say that name wrong, found them with like the troll after they knocked the troll out. She said, I went looking for the troll because I thought I could deal with it on my own, you know, because I've read all about them. And obviously she's lying in this scene. There's like a little bit of character development here where Hermione is reciprocating an act by lying. Like she's thanking them by lying for them. Sorry, this whole book is a lot about character development. It's not really about the plot itself because I feel like that gets better in the next books. But anyways, the thing that I really liked here is where, oh, I got the wrong page. Ron said, like after Hermione lied, right? They said, good of her to get us out of trouble like that, Ron admitted. Mind you, we did save her. But then, you know, instead of Harry agreeing, he says, she might not have needed saving if we hadn't locked the thing in with her, Harry reminded him. I like what Harry's response here because it shows that he's setting Ron straight and he's taking accountability for his actions. He's also able to see Hermione's perspective. He's not afraid to call Ron out and like set him straight. That's what I like about this particular passage or response from Harry. Oh my gosh, and I love Hermione. She like, I can't believe she checks their homework. That's crazy. I just wanted to point that out. Like, what? I was so invested in my own homework because I struggled learning. I struggled studying. I took forever to study. And the fact that she's so bright that she to like check Harry and Ron's homework. Oh my gosh, I wish I could be her. but which is kind of funny because I plan to be an aspiring teacher and I actually will have to do that. But like at this age, nah, no way would I have done that. Okay, last like part that I want to talk about was this scene with Neville. This is when they get caught by trying to hide the fact that there was a dragon that Hagrid was hiding, and they're trying to exchange the dragon with Ron's brothers or like friends. I can't really remember. I'm sorry. I suppose you think it's funny too that Longbottom here heard the story and believed it too. So basically she's saying like they tricked him, and then Harry caught Neville's eye and tried to tell him without words that this wasn't true because Neville was looking stunned and hurt. Poor blundering Neville. Harry knew what it must have cost him to try and find them in the dark to warn them. So I love this passage because I think it just demonstrates how like overall Harry again is this empathetic person, super mature for his age. Sometimes when you get in trouble, you think about like your circumstance. The majority of us, at least me, I was very self-centered. If I went to get in trouble, I don't care if like there's other people that are gonna get hurt. I know that's bad to say, but it's just I didn't have perspective taking at this age. Like he's thinking about Neville, how it was troublesome for him, how he's like hurt by the words of Professor McGonagall. So I love this passage and it reflects how mature he is. Okay. This is when, you know, his forehead was bothering him and he kept saying, "I wish I knew what this means." He burst out angrily. "My scar keeps hurting. It's happened before, but never as often as this." Like he is aware of that, like when something's just not right. Like he's just intuitive. All right, and then we get into a really like an intense scene where, oh, I think it's right here. In this scene, Harry was trying to get the Philosopher's Stone. Well, that's his like plan, and Ron and Hermione are trying to dissuade him from doing that because they're saying that there's a lot of risks involved. But you know what I really love about Harry is that like in here he says like, "So what? Don't you understand? If Snape gets hold of the stone, Voldemort's coming back. Haven't you heard what it was like when he was trying to take over? There won't be any Hogwarts to get expelled from. He'll flatten it or turn it into a school for the dark arts. Losing points doesn't matter anymore. Can't you see?" So this passage is important because it shows that he worries more about life-threatening concerns than being expelled, and I think that's what makes him a great character. He probably, like his parents, were just much more aware of like the dark themes that are explored behind and like in Hogwarts and the wizard world. Hermione and Ron, they're normal students, right? They're more concerned about studying and like, just not getting caught, not getting in trouble like most kids. But here's Harry, who is willing to risk his life. He's going to get the stone. He worries more about the lives, the future of Hogwarts, and also probably the lives of all of these other students at the school and the professors. That demonstrates how courageous he is, but also how selfless he is. What I also like about J.K. Rowling, however you want to say it, is that she incorporates a lot of elements and then ties it all together. But I didn't really understand what the point of Quidditch was. Like, I know it's a fun game or sport, sorry, but I was just like, what was the point of this? And then the fact that they reintroduced Harry's like Quidditch skills when he was trying to get the silver key, like those flying keys. I really like the scene because it utilizes his skills, and it's not just like, it's like an actual useful skill is what I'm trying to say. And also we have Ron's skill of playing chess, right? That's also another skill that she incorporates. And I like this scene because Ron also shows here he is courageous and he's willing to sacrifice himself by basically getting hit in the game and allowing Hermione and Harry to carry on. Hermione was like getting them out from the snakes, as what I was just talking about. And what I liked about that is like she's really book smart, but I also feel like she's also smart in navigating various life-threatening circumstances. Instead of making her nerdy and a geek, which is fine. Actually, she is nerdy, right? But like she is able to actually apply her skills. I don't know, I really like that about her. It's like knowledge is powerful. Knowledge has saved Ron and Harry numerous times because of Hermione. So I really like that about Hermione. I love her. I love the character development as well. Moving on, we get into this one. Oh, I love this quote by Hermione. Like in the original quote, she said, "We could have been killed or worse, expelled." And I love that quote. But here it reflects how she's recognizing that there's character development here, because Hermione is recognizing like friendship and bravery is much more important than just like books and being smart and intelligent. I love how she cares about Harry here. I just think she's a really good person, and I love that insight. Like, she will probably like throughout the book still care about studying, but it's the fact that she recognizes that there's much more important things to life than just like studying and getting good grades. Friendship is really important too. This was a scene that really, now it's getting to the scenes that shocked me when Harry realized that Snape tried to save him during the Quidditch match. I remember being not only like shocked, but also just like guilty for blaming Snape. Like, I constantly looked down upon him and thought he was this like terrible teacher. Yeah, this just shook me to the core, because I mean, obviously it should have been obvious. Like, if they always choose the innocent looking teachers like Quirrell, you know, he seems super innocent because he's like so jittery and anxious, but no, it's him. And I was shocked, honestly. I was not expecting that. Then we get into this part of the scene. Oh, wait. I think this is the one. Oh, when like Voldemort, when he said, "Now why don't you give me that stone in your pocket?" So he basically Harry had the stone in his pocket from the mirror. And oh my gosh, I remember shivering when I read this. I mean, like, I knew that he was gonna figure out that he had it in his pocket, because that's like, I feel like I've watched a lot of movies to know that that's how it goes, but I was just like, oh my gosh. Lastly, I really like, I don't know, I just love Harry. He asks really good questions. For example, but why would he want to kill me in the first place? I mean, yeah, that's a really important question, and then Dumbledore doesn't want to respond right away. But like, I understand Harry is young and he doesn't understand, but that is a really good question, and I am excited to explore more of the history behind Voldemort. And that's about it. That's my insights on this book. So overall, I would give this 3.5 stars. I didn't love the book or hate it. I just wasn't obsessed over it. And I'm not gonna berate this book because I think it is well written and it is the first book in the series. I just found it was hard to get through and to relate to the characters, or just to become invested in them, because I felt like I was reading a children's novel. I did really enjoy seeing the relationship and the friendship between Harry, Ron, and Hermione unravel throughout the novel, and also just exploring this wizard world, the world of Hogwarts. I love the setting. But personally, I would not reread this book again, at least in this series.